Yo, what up guys, Jagex just finished their stream going over a few things about the Sanctum of Rebirth and the tier 95 weapon magic dual wield as well that's going to be released with it, and any information that they have so far. It's pretty awesome to see Jagex going through stuff so soon, and we're going to go through the post because they just dropped this as well, which they've called a right-click examine, and basically it's going to give us tons of information about it, and it's just going to be really cool. For you guys that didn't catch it, this is the place to be. So welcome to the first right-click examine developer blog. In this blog format, we'll open the floor to our JMods as they look to involve you in their development, whether that's content already in production, potential concepts for the future, or anything in between. Whenever you see right-click examine, or RCE for short, prepare to share your thoughts and help us share the future of RuneScape. I just want to say to begin with that this is incredible, man. This is such a cool thing, and I'm so glad. And the stream that we just had was only short, right? But the amount of stuff they talked about, giving the feedback and showing the ideas, I think it's going to make a really, really good path for the future of RuneScape. Like it's gonna be really good, man. It's such a good idea. And actually seeing the mods able to share their thoughts this early on, and then take feedback and let players give ideas that maybe they didn't think about, it's just really cool. And it's nice to see the path that RuneScape's actually taking now since the few changes that we've had. So let's have a look. Right-click examine Sanctum of Rebirth. JMod author is Mod Azana on behalf of Mod Ryan, Mod Pigeon, and Mod Sponge Project. Sanctum of Rebirth, which is the boss dungeon coming up. And feedback topics is the normal mode death system, T95 magic concept testing, and then the magic ability changes. So what is the Sanctum of Rebirth? So we all thought this was the skilling boss, right? When they first talked about it, but this is actually the Sanctum of Rebirth right here. And that is the dungeon there. So they put this with the skilling thing, which is a bit cheeky really, but now we know this is it. So the Sanctum of Rebirth will be our upcoming boss dungeon in July. In this boss dungeon experience, 1 to 4 players can delve into the Sanctum to take on 3 unique bosses across either normal or hard difficulty levels. By the way, this is not is it TOA from Old School RuneScape. They confirmed it on stream. It has some artwork that's similar because it's like the same sort of like theme, but it's not TOA. Yeah, so it says the Sanctum of Rebirth takes the lead dungeon experience and focuses it down to just the bosses, cutting out the areas packed with mobs to traverse. We want the Sanctum to feel like a challenging series of encounters for the combat literate, but also to be less daunting as a goal for those earlier in their PVM journey. So that's really cool. Getting your feedback. We want to bring your feedback on portions of the design into our development of Sanctum of Rebirth. That means we won't be diving into the lore, how the bosses function, or anything like that in this blog. Don't worry, we'll be definitely giving you a broader look at the Sanctum of Rebirth nearer to the launch date. They actually still released a lot of stuff and talked about a lot of stuff with the mechanics of the wand and all that sort of stuff, the wand and orb. So there's still a lot of stuff in here to cover, whether they don't talk about the bosses or not. So over the next however many words, we'll lay out some ideas in this blog alongside some feedback, prompting questions for you. If you have feedback you want to add, positive, negative, or anything in between, check out the bottom of the post for where to join the discussion. Cool. So deaths in the Sanctum. Death is a daunting concept, and it's often a big roadblock to players getting stuck into a boss. A lot of people actually always tell me that they don't like trying out bosses, or that they want to try bosses, they really want to, but they're scared to do so because of dying, which is strange because death costs are quite low, but at the same time I think it's the idea of like going in and just dying and going in and just dying. Kind of like the cost isn't the items and then the GP in game, it's kind of like your time and just the idea of throwing yourself at a boss and dying, I guess. But hopefully there's something new. I actually haven't seen what's proposed here. I missed this bit of the stream, so let's take a look. With the Sanctum of Rebirth, we have the chance to try something a little new and explore an alternate death scenario from normal difficulty. In this new death scenario, we want to try flipping the concept of death as a failure point and more of a stumbling block. In this design, a defeated player isn't out of the fight, just removed from it for a short time. Okay, you'll be unable to act or move for a period of time before rising back up and rejoining the fight. That's a really cool idea. I like this. But this is just for normal mode, by the way. Hard mode will be different probably, but this is a cool idea. So if you go in, you're probably going to be able to just finish it because you're going to keep going, unless you like run out of supplies maybe. The intent of this design is that dying is still pushing you, still punishing as your kill time is slower, okay, but it's not as all-encompassing and as outright failure. This would also be limited to the normal version of the fights, as we still want to the harder challenges to persist as things to aspire towards reaching and defeating. I like this idea. I actually really like this idea. I think it's such a cool thought to actually have. It's worth mentioning the system isn't planned to replace our death mechanics either. It's just something that thematically makes sense in the Sanctum of Rebirth and could enable more players to give bossing a try in the process. We're looking for your general impressions of this death system concept, especially if you're bossing curious. We'd love to know. We'd love to know, does an alternative death mechanic interest you? Absolutely. Would you be more open to trying bosses if you knew you could eventually win? I do think this will make a big difference. Guys, let me know in the comments as well, and also make sure you give feedback to these the JMods as well. Would you like to see this kind of mechanic come to the bosses? I think having it on just this boss to begin with is such a good idea, and they should definitely do it anyway. Like, I mean, what have you got to lose if people don't like it when it's in the game? Then it's only one boss in a normal mode. It's not the end of the world. But I can't see this being a bad thing. Like, you go in, you commit to the fight, and if you die, like you miss a mechanic and it kills you off, you're gonna come back to the fight and get to go in again. I think it's actually such a really cool idea, and I don't really see a downside to it. I like it. What do you guys think? Let me know. I didn't see this on stream, but man, this is epic. Next up, we have the tier 95 magic weapons. We have a ton of fun and insight working with players in the recent combat betas, so we thought, why not try to do something with the new beta idea? For the first time, we're going to invite players to have a direct influence on a new tier 95 weapon in a short beta from May 30th to June 6th. Oh, that's pretty soon. Holy hell. Okay. Very soon. We're inviting players to playtest 3 potential concepts of our tier 95 magic dual weapons to put them through their paces, give us your feedback, and help us decide the final design. This should be fun. Cannot wait for that. Holy crap, that's hella soon. That's going to be so fun to do. That's going to be a great stream. And for those of you that didn't see, this is the artwork of it, by the way, if you didn't see it on stream. It looks very nice. Obviously, again, work in progress, could completely change, but it probably won't change too much if it does at all. And they'll look pretty cool. And then you got the dyed versions here as well. They said actually on stream that they don't plan on releasing them with dyes, but it's just something that they do when they did the design and stuff. So they do have them, but obviously the artwork's not the whole thing of putting it in the game. So either way, there's the artwork for those, and I think they look pretty cool. They look very nice. So there you go. All right, let's carry on. It says players will be able to get their hands on the brand new tier 95 dual wield magic weapons in the Sanctum of Rebirth, and the team have been discussing what kind of interesting effect these items could bring to the table. After deliberating, we have settled on a few potential choices for you to put through the paces, and let us know what you think. So they said on stream that there's 3 different options, basically 2.5, because 2 of them are the same but very slightly different. But they wanted us to be able to go in, test them all. You can even put like augments and stuff on them. You'll be able to see it on screen how it works. You can pick the weapons, and you can like pick your perks and stuff and put them on, and then you can test them out. So these are the different effects that you can have. So 1 and set 1. First effect will be generating a stacking buff using non-basics, so thresholds would give you the stacks, and then consuming that buff using your basic abilities for increased adrenaline. With the second benefit building off of the first and giving a flat cooldown reduction for wild magic when the buff is consumed, giving players a more stable flow of damage and adrenaline. So basically what it is consuming the stack reduces the cooldown of wild magic by 6 seconds. So you every time you use a basic, you can throw wild magic 6 seconds sooner. But if you get 2 stacks, so non-basic abilities generate 2 stacks, you could throw any threshold, asphyxiate, tsunami. No, that's an ultimate. I don't know. Maybe. Wait, no, it says non-basic, so I guess ultimates would work too. But anything that's not a basic gives you 2 stacks, and then you can get 12 seconds off your wild magic by using it, using 2 basics, and then it throws you that. It's really cool. You can probably get a lot more damage out of this, and I really like the idea. Wand and Orb set 2. The second set effect will be building up from the first set, but instead of a stable flow of cooldown reduction, it will be more powerful RNG effect. So a little bit of RNG isn't bad as long as it's done correctly, which definitely could cool, and it could feel really good too, because it'll be very reactionary in the sense of like you see that it's actually reset, and then you throw it again. So it says non-basic abilities generate the 2 stacks, and then again the basic abilities will consume it and give you adrenaline gain by 25%, but consuming the stacks has a 25% chance to refresh the cooldown of wild magic, so it's completely refresh it. So it could be that you use like asphyxiate, or you use wild magic, right? You get 2 stacks, and then you use 1 basic, and you can immediately wild magic again. Or you might have to use another one, and then you may not even get the reset. So overall, like, this could be more like consistent because of the fact that like it's 6 seconds and you get 2 stacks, and so you get 12 seconds in total. But this one could just give you a back, so you technically could have points of time where use wild magic, use 1 basic, use wild magic again, use 1 basic, use wild magic again, and you just keep throwing it out and getting tons of damage. Could happen. 25% chance you could get some pretty big streaks, but at the same time, the RNG will have to see how, like, you'd have to see how it feels. But we get to test this. This is the great thing about it, so we'll get to see. 1 and Orb Set 3 is an alternative playstyle of increasing damage over the time effects that ramps up in power the more you stack this new debuff, and adds effects like refreshing their cooldowns or making them hit instantly. So they spoke about this a little bit as well, and it's all about damage over time effects and whatnot, and it's very different from the first two. So, first of all, damage over time abilities deal 30% more damage, which is Combust, Corruption Shot, affected as the only damage over time magic abilities. So I guess Magma Tempest isn't in here. And then it says, for number 2, damage over time abilities generate Essence Corruption with each hit, which goes to 100 stacks. So, at 1 Essence Corruption stack, your damage over time abilities have a 30% chance to empower, dealing the damage instantly and refreshing the cooldown. So, like, straight away, basically. if you use a damage over time ability, it could just reset and do all the damage straight away. So like your all your ticks of damage would hit immediately, like Carapace Wrist Wraps kinda. And then you could cast it again, and then it could trigger again, you could cast it again, and you could get a ton of damage out of it because they deal a decent amount of damage, right? Then you've got 25 essence as corruption stacks deal bonus damage against enemies, 100% of stacks plus 100% of your magic level. So the bonus damage is 100% of the stacks you have. And then 100% you might. That's a cool. I like this too. I like this a lot. 50 essence corruption stacks. Basic abilities generate an additional 3.6 adrenaline over 6 seconds. So basically, what's saying is you'll use like rack, for example, and it will then build your adrenaline up as well as giving you the regular adrenaline that you get. So you'll use it, you'll get your base adrenaline, and then you'll also get 3.6% of that adrenaline over 6 seconds. And I guess if you're past 50%, 50 essence corruption stacks, all your basics will do the same, and then it'll stack up, so your adrenaline's probably going to like up and up and up quite a lot, which then opens up the option of like using other EOF specs maybe that weren't really viable because it was like 50% adrenaline, or it was like 100% adrenaline, get more ultimates off, that sort of thing. Could be really cool. Each of these sets will have the charging passive, which disables the effect until the items have been worn for 9 seconds. I don't like this personally because it means that like you have to camp this, or you camp the staff of Armadyl, like you're kind of picking. It could be cool though if like you focus on the staff of Armadyl, you do the spec, you use the rotation, because we're also going to talk about this down here, but they're thinking of changing the concentrated blast ability to be 2-handed so it fits with the staff, and then the others to be dual wield. But basically you would use the staff, you do the rotation with that, with your sunshine probably, and then after that you would swap to your weapons, and you got 9 seconds before you can use it. I feel like 9 might be a little bit too long because the downtime of a Staff of Armadyl is only like 30 seconds, right? Because you got 30 seconds uptime, 30 seconds downtime. So then you'd be swapping back again. You only have like 21 seconds to get anything out of this. I don't know. But of course, it's all feedback. It's all work in progress. So you'd have to just see. But you'll be able to pick up each version of these weapons in the beta and try them out to see which one you enjoy the most. Then you'll be able to give us feedback on which of the effects should make it live. When it comes to feedback, here's a couple of questions we'd love you to consider. It's also, they also said as well that like these effects don't have to be like, it's not like these 3 are nothing. Like you can change things, they can change things around and stuff depending on feedback. So either way, which of the suggested effects are most appealing to you? Do weapons that have synergy with specific style attacks appeal to you as well? So that's the feedback that they want. And I think I like the RNG idea better. Mainly just because of the reactiveness of it. Like you have to pay attention to it resetting. When it does, then you can use it again. I like that a lot because then it makes combat feel different all the time. But what do you guys think? You have to let me know what you guys think as well. Magic ability changes. So this is the next thing. We think it's time to change the relationship between Concentrated Blast and Sonic Wave and the greater versions. There's currently some model design with magic where Critical Strike is integral to the Frex Staff of Armadyl, but the primary source of critical strikes is Concentrated Blast. So basically, you would use the staff spec, then swap to dual wield, and never use your staff because you would stick into the dual wield, even though the staff would give you more damage. Yeah, so yeah. To solve this, we're proposing a couple of ability changes. You basically swap the Concentrated Blast with Sonic Wave and Magma. The benefits of this change is opening up two-handed magic to becoming the critical strike focus of magic, while also opening up dual wield to other identities. We're aware this is quite a big change, one that could have economic impact on both staffs and dual wield weapons, so it's not something we're looking to push through without a decent amount of player feedback. So like, this isn't like we're doing this, it's we could do this. What do you guys think? We'll be testing this out in the beta along with the T95 DW Weapons, and we'd love for you to give it a try. We'd love to hear, how does this playstyle feel to you? How does this playstyle, is this a playstyle you enjoy? And is there something missing that could make it more enjoyable? Then you can get involved here. So this is like where you can join to get, to give you feedback and whatnot. So that's all stuff about the magic weapons. There's a lot of stuff to take on board there, but it's so good to see all this handed to us so soon. And have a beta. Beta's way earlier than I expected. That's crazy. Okay, so next up is this here. It says, thanks for reading on our first right-click exam blog. We're super excited to open up the development. Here are a couple of images of gifts that have been showcased on the stream. So I'll go through these with you real quick to give you what they were talking about, because some of these are pretty cool. This is the boss room, one of the boss's room of the actual dungeon. It's just one of them, and it's the boss. It's this boss here. This is the boss that's in there, and they've given a more closer look of that too. And of course you can see it here too. So people are saying it looked like TOA, but it's not. They've confirmed it's not, but there you go. You can kind of see why people thought that. One of the big things though that was super exciting, and I think is like such a good idea, man, is this here. They are going to be doing telegraphing for abilities, and they're working on it now. It won't look like this, they said. Of course, it's not like a big orange thing on the floor. This is just the general idea and design of it. But you'll have like the thing that shows how long until the ability, when it hits the full outer edge, the ability to be fired. It's like Ratchet's tail spin and stuff they use as an exact example. This would be so good for people getting into PVM. So good. Hopefully they go back and add this to other bosses too that it works on. Kind of like maybe Vorkath could probably use this. But overall, I think this is such a cool idea. Yeah, that's it for today. Hopefully you guys found this interesting. I am very excited about this. 30th, we can actually get our hands on some new magic specs to try out. Of course, super early on, but like, it's just going to be a fun stream to do. Yeah, either way, let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you give Jagex your thoughts as well by joining the Discord. And other than that, I'll catch you on the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.